All right, welcome back. If you did not watch part one, you are in the wrong place. Get out of here, get to part one, and then come join us in part two. Yes, I'm like a bouncer. But for the rest of you, welcome back. We're going to talk about the practical habits that you need for effective time management as a busy mom. Okay, so I do want to qualify myself real quick before I dive into the tips. And yeah, because I never really talk about my background for real, for real. So either way, I'm a business owner. I have typically anywhere from, let's say, 7 to about 10 main employees. And then at different times of the year, that balloons up to maybe about 30. Yeah, anywhere from 25 to 30 or more for a few months out of the year every year. Then I have 3 children that are back to back to back. Somebody once told me they were called trailer park twins. So I have twins, and then I have another one that was born 1 year after the twins. So yeah, and then, or trailer park triplets. Yeah, something like that. They told me. I thought was really funny. I definitely don't consider myself the most organized or the most effective at time management, but obviously I've been able to figure out something in order to get everyone taken care of. So no one's ever not been paid. Okay, I'm lying. One time, yeah, I did literally forget. But in my 10 years of doing what I do, yeah, once that's not too bad. And I do feel like I've dropped the ball on lots of things, but over the years, like I said, I've figured out specific things to do that have helped me get 99% done without too many issues. So before I dive into the video or the habits, I guess there's a main spirit of it all that I want you to understand, which is that as a mom, and I had to realize was that automatically means I'm in a season of life of unpredictability. So I can write out whatever schedules I want all day long. It does not matter to my kids, right? The more I put on the schedule, the more hard times I give myself, the more deadlines and all this stuff, the more my kids wake up and are sick, the more that the dishwasher just clunks out, the more my website just goes down for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And there's absolutely no support available on the weekends and all these things. And it's like, okay, I think I'm fighting just the world here. Something's got to give. So again, these habits are born from someone that is living exactly what you're living, but I'm now able to get way more done. And with that being said, like I said, if you did not watch part one, make sure you do part one. Part one is the inner work, the more intrinsic things that have to be in place in order for part two, the habits that you see all around the internet, in order for those things to actually, take hold and work. Yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive into the first habit, which is that you need to brain dump the right way, right? So what's the point of brain dumping? Number one is to clear your mind. A lot of us have so much going on in our heads, and you really honestly just don't stop. But I promise you get so much relief. And it's just like going to do a number 2 in the bathroom. Do that number 2 mentally and you're literally going to feel a sense of satisfaction. Your brain is just going to be like, whew, I can breathe now. Okay. And that just gives you the cylinders you need to actually, you don't even have to do anything with that brain dump session, right? Just dump and flush like the real thing. Or you can dump and then from there, break things down, categorize into, what's important, what's not important, what's urgent, what can wait type thing, that whole quadrant system. So another thing I want to say is that with brain dumping, please don't limit it just to do items. All right. You need to brain dump your feelings as well, because a lot of time if you're feeling a lot of anxiety or depression or whatever it may be, go ahead and scribble that out while you're writing. And I promise you, there's a sense of satisfaction that comes from it. And yes, you may end up looking like a crazy person, just stuff scribbled all over the place. But just whatever is going on in your head, so you may be writing down the grocery list and then all of a sudden you want to start talking about your narcissistic, ex-boyfriend or whatever it may be. Hey, no judgment. Do it. Brain dump. All right. So habit number 2 is burn your to-do list. So a lot of times people confuse their brain dump session with their to-do list, right? The brain dump turns into the to-do list, and that's not how it works. The brain dump and the to-do list typically haven't been vetted or screened, right? So you have a lot of stuff on there that does not deserve your attention whatsoever, or things that we're saying are urgent that are not whatsoever. Not so, what did I just say? You have a lot of things on your to-do list that came from your brain dump, or your brain dump is the to-do list, but the things that are actually identified or written, they are not urgent, even though you're treating them as such. They are things you would like to do, right? So painting the bathroom, something you would love to do, but is that something you should be doing this Tuesday at 2:30? Like, no, your kids get out of school at 2:45. Like, you got to be at the school. Like, whoa, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So burn your to-do list, right? You don't need that anymore. It doesn't help you whatsoever. It just makes you feel like a failure. No one checks off any of the boxes ever, at least not enough to feel like you did something good. You need to shift to scheduling. Just like you hear people that are rich or successful, what's the first thing they say when someone asks them, can they do something? They say, I don't know. I'm going to check my schedule. That's you. That's the energy you need right there. All right. Habit number 3, focus blocks. This is probably the most impactful thing I've ever done in my entire life, right? Focus blocks. Typically we hear time blocks, so I'm going to assume you already know what that is. But a focus block, there's no particular time that it's scheduled for, right? There's a time I would like to do it, but it's more so about prioritizing. So my focus blocks, I have a series of them, just like people time block, but they're blocked or scheduled according to priority, and they're all about one particular task, right? So my focus block number 1, typically this is the first thing that I have to do in the morning. So it's a certain set of tasks related to, one of my businesses that has to be done no matter what, right? So things that affect the employees or money. That's all I care about really when it comes to those things, right? Not even so much as me getting paid. I just always have to, okay, hold on, I'm about to sound real crazy. Of course I care about getting paid, but I mean, my priority is always to make sure my employees are taken care of. So, they're in that first block there, making sure that their money is always where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. There we go. So with that being said, the focus blocks for me work better than time blocks because, like I said, sure, I have my day plotted out, but like I said, I don't know what my children have planned for me the next day, right? Sure, they're supposed to go to school. I don't even know if the school is going to be open. Like, we are living post-coronavirus, right? We know things can get real crazy real quick. So just because the times change, or just because I'm not able to have the day I thought I was going to have, it doesn't mean that there aren't certain things that still have to be done. So the moment I do get a chance to work on whatever, that's when the focus block comes into play, because I know, boom, if nothing else, this is what needs to be focused on as soon as you get a chance. Okay, and that's how that differs from time blocking. Time blocking is like, hey, from 7 to 7:30, this is what we're doing. From 7:30 to 8:30, this is what we're doing. Like I said, focus blocks are, hey, when you get a chance, this is what needs to be done, and this is the first thing you have to do, and it's going to take 15 minutes, right? And I do have a time limit. So basically, the key things I want you to know about focus blocking for me is that they are arranged by priority, okay? And then I do have time limits so that I don't spend forever working on whatever. And I do arrange them by the things I typically procrastinate on, or the things that I have a hard time doing. So right after the employee money type stuff, for me, it's phone calls. Ugh, I hate doing that. So I arrange it not just by priority, but also based on what I typically avoid. So let's go on. That was number 3. And just to recap, so right now we're saying habit number 1, brain dump daily. Habit number 2, burn your to-do list, schedule everything. Habit number 3 is use focus blocks. Habit number 4 will be know the one thing that needs to be know the one thing that needs to be done, right? So that kind of piggybacks off of the last one, but it is incredibly important to always know the one thing that needs to be done. For me personally, I have my life broken down into about 7 categories. So that'd be finances, my mental health, my spiritual self, my business, of course, spirituality, my sense of self, my kids, my environment. My environment would be my home. So I have identified the one thing that needs to be done in each of those categories. So if nothing else can be done, that way I'm making deposits into the things that for me move my life forward. All right. I don't want to just be doing things. I don't want to have a busy day and still feel like I didn't get anything done. So again, know the one thing that needs to be done. Habit number 4, clearly communicate what needs to be done to the people around you. That sounds like I'm saying you're going to do something to them. No, clearly communicate what you expect of them, right? Like how this whole shebang is going to work. So that's from your kids to your spouse or whatever. So, I need to know, hey, what day, what's coming up at school? Where do you need to be when? I need to know it 7 days in advance. If you don't tell me 7 days in advance, well, I'll do the best that I can, but I can't make any promises, right? Setting hard deadlines so that everybody knows, and there are consequences if you can't meet those deadlines, right? Help me help you. Clearly communicate what needs to be done as you're establishing systems and trying to get organized. You can't get organized and not include the people that you have to organize into all of this, if that makes sense. And let's go with habit number 5, eliminate distractions. I know a lot of us are saying, okay, I have no time, but I promise you, check out your screen time. Your phone is going to tell you, oh, you got time, okay? You spent 7 hours yesterday on your phone on YouTube and Pinterest, so you got time, all right? I know I definitely had to cut back on some Netflix. I was definitely depressed though, I will say that. But yeah, once I started focusing on my purpose and all these other things, like I said, my assignments, my roles, just what is going to move the needle in life, those distractions went out the door. So being more cognizant of chatty patties that you run into, or maybe you're the chatty patty, you're going to have to nix those little conversations, shorten them down. Hey, how you doing? Gotta go. Sorry about that. It is what it is, right? You're destiny focused, you're legacy focused, you're goal focused. You're trying to get more things done, and time is of the essence. Remember, it's one of your resources. All right. So, okay. I already gave you that one. All right. So the last thing I want to do then is tools that I use. And so some of them that I like to use, and this is because I know sometimes it's like you hear people are organized, but it's like, but what are you doing? Like, what are you writing? Like, what is all that? Like behind me, for instance, like you probably can't see, but yeah, I'm scribbling on paper all the time, guys. Like it's insane. But anyway, so some of the tools that I use, and then I'll let you guys go, but I write, I just grab paper and I'm scribbling, but I also have a planner. I finally graduated to that, and I'm planning week by week. That has been incredible for me. I'm not the best at doing the months yet or the entire year, but week by week has changed my life. I use Evernote. So like I said, I scribble, I write all the time like a maniac. And so I've had to upload that into Evernote so that I can refer back to my notes from time to time, or get someone to take those notes and turn it into something that can be added into like one of my project management softwares. And from there, I like to use Notion. I like to use Trello. Well, I was using Trello and then I switched to Notion, but I like both of them. Both have their pros and cons. We'll go into that another time. But anyway, Google Calendar, definitely a huge win. If you have kids in school, I know you're using Google Calendar, so it's very easy to go ahead and really just build an entire system around that with everything coming into one place. With that being said, let's go over those habits one more time and I'll let you guys go. So habit number 1 is brain dump daily. Don't forget to include your feelings. Number 2, burn your to-do list. Schedule everything like a superstar. Number 3, focus blocks are awesome. Okay. Number 4, everybody has a role or a job and they need to be accountable. Okay. As do you for what's going on. Number 5, eliminate distractions. Again, this will boost your ETA, your energy, your time, your attention. know the areas of life. I don't know where I said that like earlier, so we'll just, yeah, I slipped it in there somewhere, but that's just a key I want you to remember. And then, like I said, we went over those tools there at the end. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Got a little sloppy right here at the end, but that's cool. Comment below if you did find something valuable in it, or if you have some other tips that'll help somebody else. That would be super fantastic. And with that being said, did I say like this? Did I say share it? If I did say all those things, maybe do it again. I don't know. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. And of course, can I find my mouse? Bleh.